up guys, my name is Devin and welcome to 11% Tutorials. Today I'll be teaching you guys how you can create this paper comic stop motion effect. It's just an overall great effect to just help enhance music video effects or any other creative projects you're working on. And it's really simple and easy to apply. We will be using After Effects to create this effect, but for this effect you will be needing the Sapphire paid plugin. This plugin is an additional paid add-on that does not come with Adobe. For those of you still looking to achieve the same effect, yes, there are ways to get Sapphire for free, but just do it at your own risk and I don't recommend it really. But before we get started, if you guys are new to this channel, please make sure you like this video and subscribe. It's free. All this content is free, so it would really mean a lot if you guys could. Also, if you guys have any questions or concerns throughout the entirety of the video, please make sure to leave a comment down below. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this tutorial. Alright guys, so now that we are finally inside of After Effects, like I said, of course you want to have your footage loaded in right here. I just have some, footage from a recent music video project. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to duplicate our layer, okay? So we're just going to hit Command D on our layer, okay? Once you have your layer duplicated, now comes the fun part. What we're going to do is we're going to turn off the visibility for the bottom layer, and now we are not going to rotoscope, but we are going to mask, okay? So grabbing our old-fashioned pen tool right here in the top hand corner, where you can hit P, that's your hotkey for the pen tool. And what we're simply going to do is we're just going to draw a rough cut around our subject. I did some little bend beziers there, but don't try to do those. Just keep it very rough and straight. It's just supposed to be like a paper effect. I mean, it is a paper effect. So then what we're gonna do is we are gonna come down here in this drop down on our top layer. We're gonna hit the drop down on our mask, the drop down on our mask 1, and then we're gonna hit the keyframe icon on our first mask path. Now you can see we have a nice little keyframe time right here. We're gonna go about a couple seconds in, maybe 1 second in, okay? Then we are going to hold Option and just select some areas and just make sure they adjust to our subject right here. So now I'm just gonna adjust these keyframes. Now you can hold Option or Alt if you're on PC and then just drag and select multiple points, and then you can just drag and then adjust them to your subject, just to make sure that they stay following them, okay? Now it doesn't have to be a perfect animation. Obviously there's gonna be some parts like right here, and you see this little line just comes across his face, and we'll adjust all of this stuff later, but right now we're just gonna go by every second right now and just pretty much adjust the frame. So now this process is gonna take a little bit of time, but I mean, it really in the end, it just creates the best looking effect, and that's just what this effect requires. So we are just going to speed this up just a little bit. All right, so now once you have finally masked pretty much all of your subject, just go ahead and real quick before I move on, scrub through. If you have any areas that are just pretty fatal and you just don't want the half of their face just cut off, then you can obviously select and adjust those and just make sure you get those little half in between cuts correct. So we're just gonna go ahead and just drag and adjust them real quick. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a very simple rough cut mask, hence the name. Now if you play this back and once you have a nice rough cut looking warped animation thing of your subject, it actually reminds me of one of these music videos that Bennett did in 2017. It was a Juice WRLD music video, but this pretty much was the effect. But for an effect that we're trying to achieve, this is a bit too smooth, so this is where we're gonna go ahead and just tweak this up a bit. Now coming up for our very first effect, which is actually not a Sapphire plugin effect, but it is an After Effects plugin. We are gonna search up poster eyes. We're gonna come over here to the Effects and Presets tab, and we are going to search up poster eyes time, okay? So make sure you select the posterized time, not the posterized effect. These are two very different effects, but yeah, just make sure you get the time effect. We're gonna drag it right here to our top layer, and then we're gonna adjust the frame rate to about 10 to 12. Let's do 11 maybe. Maybe 11 would be solid. And once you play it back, you can see we have this nice stop motion frame effect. It's pretty much just lowering the frame rate down, but it adds this cool effect to it. Next thing we're gonna do before we move on is we're just going to simply hit the posterized time effect on your effects panel, hit Command C to copy it, and then we're gonna come over here down to this bottom layer and hit Command V to paste it. So now that way we have both effect layers with a stop motion freeze frame effect. And you can see if we play it back, all of it just looks like it's in 11 frames per second. For our very first Sapphire effect, we're gonna search up halftone, okay? Now there are two different halftone Sapphire effects right here. There's the halftone effect and there's the halftone color effect. For this top layer, we are going to drag and apply the halftone color effect. We're gonna drop it and drag it, and there you go. We can see we have this pretty cool looking Miles Morales Spider-Verse looking effect. you can see we have a range of settings. If we increase and decrease the dots frequency, we can just, make the dots smaller. It honestly depends on your footage and just the level of clarity that you have in the video. So it looks like for this is almost enough to where you can see pretty much what's going on, but not too much. I'm gonna say for my footage, a value of 117 works perfectly for the dots frequency. If we zoom back out and just look at and play it from afar, you can see we have this nice looking comic book effect going on now. Obviously, you can go ahead and mess with the dots angle and just the width and just all these other little settings, but whatever you prefer, just go with that. Might I add, while we're here at the effects and presets panel, you can go ahead and add the halftone effect, Sapphire effect to the bottom layer. This is the halftone non-color one. So we applied the color effect to the top one, and then this is the halftone, just halftone effect that we're gonna apply to the bottom one. My bottom layer visibility is off, but if you turn on the visibility, you can see we have this black and white comic book effect, but we're just gonna go ahead and turn that off and just work on that for later. Coming back to the effects and presets, we are going to search up leave color, okay? Now this effect is totally based on your preference for this effect. I just like it for this style that we go for. What this basically does is just singles out a color that is in the scene right here. So this is set on red. Obviously you can set it for whatever color you like. Maybe if you like blue, you can just adjust the blue, and then you can just adjust the tolerance and what other effects you want to show as well. So if you want a blue effect, you can go ahead and leave in all the blue color, and it just kind of gives like a feel to the video. Up to you, totally preference based. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it at red just because that's the color I like, and then just adjust the tolerance to your liking. Lastly, for this paper effect on the top, we are going to add a drop shadow. Lastly, for this effect on top, we're gonna come back to the effects and presets, and we're gonna search up drop shadow. Now this basically is just going to add a nice little drop shadow to your effect. We can go ahead and turn on the visibility now for our bottom layer just so we can see what is going on with the drop shadow. If you zoom all the way in, you can see the faint line of this drop shadow. We're just going to increase the direction, distance, and I'm going to definitely increase the softness just so we get that drop shadow blur, and it just makes the top layer feel a little bit distant from the back layer. And there we have it. That's all for our top layer. Now moving on to the bottom layer. Now for this effect, I'm just looking right here. I really honestly like the dot frequency for this clip right here. It's not too small, not too big, but just a medium size. So like I said, up to your preference, but adjust the dot frequency to just a value that just feels right for your video. What I am going to do is I'm going to decrease the dot lightness just so that we have a little bit of a darker scene, and it just makes our front image just stand out a lot more. Might I add that adjusting the color 1 and color 2 of the halftone dots is also something you can do. For example, for this effect, I might want to change this back white color to, a darkish blue or a teal blue just to, have some color contrast, which I actually am kind of digging. So I'm just going to adjust that, hit okay, and then there you go. If you play it back, you can see we just have different colors and just different effects and different feels going on for the video here. Lastly, my favorite part for all video tutorials is that time. You can't have an 11% tutorial without overlay time. Woohoo! It is that time. Overlays pretty much honestly just save the day for like any video effect. Now these are all free downloaded videos that I just pretty much got off of YouTube. They're just all a whole bunch of free overlays. This is a scratch like effect, like a scratch effect. I don't know how to say it. I'm just gonna stretch it out just so we have it the length of the video. And it just adds that adds texture to the video. I don't know how to say it, but there are a ton of videos like this on YouTube that you can just easily download for free and just apply to your video. What we're gonna do is we're gonna change this blend mode to add, and then there we have this nice looking grain texture to it. It just looks really cool, honestly. I might drag the speed down and just duplicate it and then just have it repeat just so we have a faster pace for and there you can see we have a nice paper feel to the video. For some effects, I like to drag the top paper layer effect above the overlays just so that the paper only applies to the background, which you can do as well, but sometimes it's just up to the feel of the video. Lastly, for the last overlay that I like to add just pretty much to all my videos is just a basic film burn effect, okay? Film burn, in my opinion, just pretty much always wraps up videos, just makes it feel that last touch of spice and sauce that just makes the videos all come together. Once again, we're gonna change this blending mode to add, and this one I just apply over all the effects. And with that, here is the final result. If you guys made it to the end of the video, once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope after this, you guys will be able to walk away with an effect that you can apply to just create grunge and just paper overall cool aesthetic videos. If you haven't already, please make sure you like this video and subscribe with the notification bell on for future updates on tutorials like this. If you would like to see any particular effects or tutorials from us, leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, make sure to add us on Instagram if you guys created anything cool. Love to see what you guys make. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.